Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be making a project for babycraft.com and I'm going to be making a pokey tool. Now this is my style pokey tool because I decided this is what my easiest option was. I know a lot of ladies use the little turkey skewers and they have the big ring at the end and they're only quite short and they thread all the beads on them. Well, mine's a little bit different. I had a little bit of a difficult time finding the turkey skewers, so what I've decided to use were cookie scribes, and I just got these from eBay. They were very inexpensive, and I'm sure you could pick them up in many other places too. They come in all different colours. It doesn't actually matter what colour you're going to use. Because they're plastic, to enable glue and things like that to stick to them. I just want to get, there's a little bit of extra. See how there's a little bit of extra plastic just there. I just want to get that off. Let's tidy it up a little bit. Okay. Okay, yes, so there's a couple of things you have to do to them to make them easier to work with. The first thing you might want to do is just sand down the tips because they are incredibly sharp, and I just feel a little bit more comfortable working with them when I've just taken that that really deadly point off the end there. I don't want to be working with something that sharp. That's much better, and that doesn't take much at all. That's just a heavy-duty nail file I'm doing that with. Get a little bit of, you can see I've used this quite a lot, a little bit of sandpaper, and you're going to rough up the handle of the cookie scribe, just taking the shine off it. You don't have to do a lot of hard work here, but just so that you've got some grip on your cookie scribe. Now it's up to you what glue you want to be using for this project. A lot of people like to use the E6000. I don't actually have any E6000, so I will probably use Glossy Accents, I think, for a more permanent fix to it. And that is because it's a pokey tool and it will be in your hand a lot. Even my heavy-duty glues, after a while, you know, that could move. So you might want to be using something that will give a nice permanent finish, nice permanent heavy stick. And I know Glossy Accents will be fine for that. Let's just hope it behaves during the tutorial, because that does take quite some time to dry. Okay, so that's what I've done there. I've just taken that shiny plastic finish off my cookie scribe, and I've taken the very sharp tip. It's still sharp enough to do a lot of things, but it's just a little bit blunter than what it was, and a little bit safer to be handling, I would say. Okay, now the first thing I did was get some braid. For this particular one, I used a lovely silver braid, like this one here, and I found that thrifting quite a long time ago now, and I've just wrapped that around my cookie scribe. For this particular one, I'm going to be using some pink braid that I also found thrifting, just to make a more colourful one. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out right at the very top like that, and I need to anchor that with glue, of course. So I will first of all anchor it with my 450 quick dry adhesive, and that is just so it doesn't move around while I'm putting it around the cookie scribe. So I'll put a bit of that on top like that. And I'm just going to place like that right on top, because you kind of want it almost hanging off the top a bit like that, because you want it as close to the top as you can possibly get it. And I'm just going to allow that a little bit of time to dry so that then I can start working on it. And while that's drying, I will just show you what I'm going to be working with. I'm going to be using the beautiful acrylic pieces from BB Craft. They're very colourful, and that's why I thought I might like to use a pink braid. They're beautiful, beautiful colours in there, and they're so pretty. I think they'd be lovely if you were doing like a mermaid journal or project, because they have these shell-like pieces in them as well. They're really lovely, and the blue looks like water. It's just, they're so pretty. So I will be using those. I have my colourful beads from BB Craft, and I also already had some larger colourful pearls from BB Craft, so I may use those as well. I have some jump rings that I'm going to be using, and that's in several different sizes from BB Craft. I also have spacer beads here that I may use. I have these lovely bead caps here, and they're a large bead cap, and I'll be using a couple of those as well. And then I just have an assortment here. They have little earring backs, and that's what I've just popped on the end of my Pokey tool, just to stop myself from, you know, damaging anything while it's not in use. I also have some pins here to use to thread my things onto, and these are also from BB Craft. So let's see. Oh, and I do have this beautiful AB crystal chain, and this is, I believe this might be a 2 or 3 millimeter chain, and it's that's from BB Craft also, and that has the gold backing on it. But because this is going to be colourful, I think to have a mix will be quite nice. Now let's see how we're going here. Okay, so I'm going to get my Glossy Accents now and see if it's open. I've had this for such a long time. It's sort of a little bit discoloured. It's that old. But it does come in handy when you're doing anything like jewellery making, or and you don't have E6000. It is quite a good strong glue to be using. And so what I'm going to do is just put a bit, but it does take time to dry. I'm just going to start putting glue like that, and I'm going to wrap it down on a slight angle. See, I'm just trying to keep it as high up the top as possible, like that, but without wasting the braid, because I don't have a lot of it. Like that. I have to make sure I'm under the shot there, don't I? That would help. Alright, let's see. And then all I'm going to do is work my way down, and hopefully I'll have enough braid to do this, and over time that will dry to a very good strong finish. So see how it's on a slight angle coming down, and you will, once this is all glued on, once you've finished your Pokey tool, you will have to sort of set it aside for a day or two just to let it cure properly, because it is a handle. If you don't allow it time to dry properly, you risk it coming unstuck. My finger's sticking to it. And put some Glossy Accents in there around the base of my Pokey tool, where I was. There we go. And then kind of squish it in like that. So it still looks nice and neat, but that's how it's finished at the bottom. And there at the top as well. Okay, and that will, like I said, that will take a bit of time to dry completely. Okay, and now what I did was I got one of these lovely things. And I worked in all silver before, but I'm sure I can add a bit of gold to this perhaps because I may use some of this. I may or I may not. I may add it to the dangle perhaps. That might be nice because I think that because it was a pink cookie scribe, I think that's quite all right the way the braid sits on that. And then I was putting this on here, but see how it doesn't fit properly because the cookie scribes are very thick. The metal is very thick and the hole on the bead cap isn't that big. So what I was doing was I was just cutting it, and then see how it's got like a gap now, and now it will give me a way of getting this up here like that. Okay, and then bending it into position like that. And you will, once I've put some glue behind that, then I will, you can either use a tool, I just use my nail, and bend those points so they're poking into the braid so you won't hurt your hand on it. But I'm just looking to see if I like the gold. I think that might be nice if I add a couple of strands of this to it as well. It could be quite nice. So before I bend that all up, what I'm going to do is get the Glossy Accents once again, and I'm just going to put it on top, around the top of the braid. Like that. See how I put it on top of the braid, and then I can push this onto there, hold on to it, and then just aim all the little points facing inward so they're not going to give me a problem. And of course you can do that with a pair of pliers if you want to, once it's completely dry. Okay. Now I want to get another one of those out as well and find myself a big bead. I don't have any really big beads from BB Craft because you have to have one with a quite a large hole in it. But Gail sends me some lovely large beads. So I'm going to just see if I can find one with a large enough hole in it. Isn't that one pretty? I wonder if that one is big enough to go on. And it is. Look at that. That will be pretty, won't it? But if I'm using, what colours am I going to use up here? I could use just all pinks, I guess. Couldn't I? Just different shades of the pinks. Like, how am I? That's a bit different, that one. Isn't that one pretty? That's more purple, though. So I could just use those ones. I won't need that many. So maybe the 3 lighter pink ones. Okay, we're going to stick with pink and gold, I think, for this one. All right, so we'll use that lovely bead there. Let's just see if it will go over there all right, because I also use another one of these, and that will, but of course I will need to cut it again to make it fit. They're only soft metal, so it works quite well. And now I'm just going to put some more glossy accents around the base here, like that. And push that up like that. Might need just a little bit more. Just enough to catch the bead, like that. And then once again manipulate that bead cap, and I'll probably do that a bit more once it's dry. Around like that. And that will have to have time to dry. What I'm going to do is just bend, where's my... It's probably under there, I'll have to use this one. Okay, I'm just going to carefully, without denting it, curl them up a little bit, I think. Will be easier. Like that. Put this on, just so it gives it, the bead, a bit of a hug. Okay, so that's going to stay there. What I need is to have it hold there for a while until it at least grips. Let me think whether I can. I don't know if they will go all the way up. Perhaps I just wanted something to push it up on to there, but it seems to be staying up there all right at the moment. Okay, so we're going to let that dry a little bit while we start working on the other part of it. So I'll put that to one side. I will need the Glossy Accents in a little while. Okay, so the next thing is we want to make the top part, and so once again I'm getting another large bead cap. And I don't need to cut this one, I don't think. I'm just going to try it on for size. See, it will need pushing in just like that to form a cap. So that will be all right. I can do that. Just pushing it in a little bit, just so it forms a cap like that. Then we need to have a pin going through. But what I need to do, because the hole is quite large in those, so what I was doing was adding a little one of these spacer beads. I think that's what they're called. You can see the hole. It just makes the end of it quite large. That way when you put it through there, it doesn't pull through. It acts as a stopper, like that. And I'm going to be mixing the silver and gold, I think, for this. So I'll have to see if I've got any little gold pieces as well. All right, there we go. Oh, they're so shiny, it's hard to see where they are. So that's what I've put on there. So we have a large bead cap. We have a little tiny spacer on the end of the pin, pulled through, and then a larger spacer. And you can use a bead or a pearl or anything there if you like. I'm just using the little spacer there. And I don't know. Okay, so I've got my pliers. I'm just holding the top of the bead there, bending it over at a right angle, and then get my little cutters and cutting it off to about there. And then I'm just going to make a little loop on the top there. And it's okay if the loop kind of leans over a bit, because it will anyway. Once you get your dangle on, it will, you know, lean over a bit. So that's okay. It doesn't have to go straight up. Okay. And now we want to make some little dangles to put on it. So we'll put 3 dangles on. Or 3 or 4. We'll see what they look like. I've got 4 on the other one. Have I? Yeah, I've got 4 on the other one. And I might need actually to have a couple of these with the little eye pins. They're the ones with they're only small though. So we'll have one small one perhaps. Or no, we need bigger ones. Is there any bigger ones? No. Okay, so if you don't have any long eye pins, then you can make one. And what you do is you just get a straight pen and you cut the end off, so you've got no ends. They're both just like that. And then you can just make a loop yourself. Oops, they're the wrong ones. Now, I'm not a professional beader, but I do try a little. So make your own little loop on the side there to hang something off like that. Just needs a bit of a straight, there we go. So you've made yourself an eye pin now, and so on the end of that I can loop one of my lovely little things, but I will need to use a little jump ring for that. I'm quite sure, did I have to before? Yes, I did have to before. Oh, I see what I did. Okay, just seeing what size. I wonder if that, how far away is it? That one might work. Let's have a look. So I think it might not. I have to say. Just and put that one. So I've got that on there now on the end, and now I can put some little beads on. Now I also have these lovely seed beads. They're a larger seed bead. I think they're 4mm, but they have the silver streak going through, and they look lovely. So we might add a couple of those as well. And I've got so many of them that it's good to use them. So I'll put one of those in, and then we need to add some pink. Seeing as our Pokey tool is pink, so we'll add a pink one like that, and then we might add a pink pearl as well. It's actually like, yeah, that's pink. Okay. And then we can add another pink one. Where's the hole? These are the crackled beads, and they're hard to see the hole sometimes. And there may be another one of these little seed beads like that. That looks pretty. Maybe I'll add another pearl in there. Oops, where did that go? Oh, there. Like that. Make it a bit longer, that's all. Like that one, and then another one there, like that. And that like that. Pulling it over. And then making a little loop on the top, and that's our first little dangle there. And that will get attached to this part here, like that. And I think I will have to find a couple of little, oh, hang on, we can make a couple of gold, we can make a gold one, that might add to the thing. Okay, so this one, they don't all have to have a dangle at the bottom of them. So let's just put this like that. Straighten that up a bit. That's pretty, isn't it? We might do that on the next one. Okay, so we've got that. We've got a little seed bead here. That. Now we could use a clear crackle bead. Oh my goodness. Alright, put it down. So, oh, I haven't got a flat surface. When you've got a flat surface and you put it down, there we go. You can usually find where it is. Now we're using a gold pearl. And these are glass beads as well. Okay, that's pretty, isn't it? Let's use another little, oh, we could use that in there. I wonder what that will look like. Yeah, we could do that. And then another gold one. Another glass crackle bead. And then the other little seed bead at the end. Like that. Oh, hang on, we want another little spacer, I think, if I can find one in here. Oops, sorry for the noise. What size? Oh. Like that? That looks about right. Okay. Just enough room. Oops. Okay, just needs a bit of straightening up. Oh, I opened it, oh no. Okay, so there's that one and there's that one there. Now, see, let's have a look. See how that's going to coordinate quite prettily, isn't it? Okay. Okay. Okay, so that will go like that. And they will be attached to there like that. But I can also, now the other day, I managed to go thrifting and I found, and if I recall correctly, BBcraft do sell something like this as well. I don't know what they're called, but I do believe they go, see this? It wasn't $2.50 at all. That's because they've got all different prices on the things in the bag. They are little things for the end of the chain. So that was very lucky to find that. And so let's put a bit of the chain in here as well, I think. I can always make it a little bit smaller if I want. And I hope this is the right size. We'll soon find out, won't we? I've never used one of these before, so I might have to open it up a bit. Lay it in, I think. Is that right? Oops. Oh dear. Okay, bear with me. Fiddly. And do I just squish it with the pliers so it holds it in place? I think that's how you do it. Let's give it another little. I don't want to squeeze it so hard that the crystals pop out though. Okay, that looks like it might work. Like that. Can go for a smaller one. Oh, I love all these jump rings. I will have to see if they come in gold or something too. Okay, so a little one. Opening it up. My other pliers are hiding under the cloth there. The ones I like. Oh, there we go. Okay, got it. Okay, so we can add that in there as well. That will be pretty. Okay, let's see if we can get all these on, shall we? And I do hope this isn't taking too long. Okay, so we want perhaps that one, that one, keeps turning, oh dear. Okay, that one, that one. Like that, hold that. That one. And that one. I hope I'm under the camera. Okay, one more. Okay, got it. Got them so far. Okay. Oh, hope that's all right. And there's our little lovely dangle full of BB craft beads and chains and little acrylic pieces. So pretty. And now that will come over here to our pokey tool, and that will get glued onto the end like that. And that's why you need to leave it for a couple of days so that it will hold really strong. That one needs more glue on it, actually. Yeah, it needs more glue. What I need to do is put glue under these gold leaf parts. But before I do that, I also want to use perhaps a bit of this beautiful beaded, not beaded, gold chain and put it around there as well. So I think I cut there just to add a little bit of sparkle to that. And so getting my Glossy Accents again, let's just close that. Don't want beads going everywhere. And putting it in that join there. Like that. And where's the, there it is there. Okay. So just pushing it together, so that adds that lovely little bit of sparkle in there, like that. Just tidy up any glue you might see. Okay, now I'll come back and glue that in securely once I've glued the top part on, I think. Now I'm going to use glue here. I mean, if you're quite happy using hot glue or whatever glue you want with this, I'm just thinking over time, with it being on a handle, you may need to use a more secure type of glue. Okay, so we get that on there like that. Push it down nice and firmly. And then this one I'm going to put glue where it will grab the actual bead. So on those little petal pieces, I'm putting a bit of glue there as well. I think it's mainly because the hole in the bead is a little bit wider than the actual pokey part. That way. Okay. Like that. Okay, that should hold much better now. Oops, don't want to lose our chain. Like that, like that. And there's our little top part. And once that is dry, I'll be able to do like I did down the bottom there and just push all those points in. That's how I did it on the silver one. I just went back and pushed them all in, and that worked very well. So there we go. That's pretty, isn't it? And it will need to sit somewhere now and dry. Just make sure you've got everything on straight before you set it up in a place to dry, because you don't want it drying crooked. There we go. Okay. So there we go. A Pokey tool using products from BB Craft. I think it's very pretty and a good alternative if you can't find the turkey skewers either, or the lovely little pins they get over in the US that no one else seems to be able to get. But there you go. I think it turned out lovely, and I'll put a proper picture of it up on the screen without all this in the background so you can see it properly. So thank you, BB Craft, for sending me these lovely products, and thank you everybody for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.